All right, all right. Cool, cool. Megan, good morning. So Brett Schwartz, what part of the world are you in today?
We're in sunny Florida, Tom, and I can tell you,
Nice.
humidity is not what the Californians think. It's not as bad as I thought it would be. Feels just tropical and beautiful.
Nice. That's awesome. Cool. Hey, Sarah, how's it going? How was camping?
You got Russ.
Hey, Russ, are you logging in?
I'm attempting to. I'm on and no one else is. AtomicTeamMeeting.live.
Yeah.
What is the room number?
Okay, hang on for a second.
No, it logged me into something else. It did not take me there. It took me into my own room.
Okay.
So what's the hold on, let me see if I can end this. What the hell did it do that for? That's really weird. I'm gonna test it one more time.
Okay. I'm getting our host online. So Dawn, maybe you could share a little bit about Build, or Frank, maybe you guys could share a little bit. Let me get our speaker on here.
Go ahead, Frank, because I'm driving. I may not have good reception.
Yeah, can you guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right, good. Good morning, everybody. Well, Build, you need to be there. That's all I can say. And don't miss EXPCon. I was blown away by Gary Brecka, because if we're making all this money, but you're not alive to spend it, it's not really worth it. So I'm following Gary Brecka's discipleship, and just really embraced it. And then the fanatical prospecting with Jeb Blount was really good. And all those speakers were great. And we're thinking too small, folks. We are thinking too small. That's all I got to say.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Well, thanks, Frank. I appreciate that. I got a ton of value out of the whole event. Gary Brecka was amazing. I got my early first sun this morning with cold plunge and the groundwork and breathing and all that good stuff. Man, I'm feeling good. So speaking of feeling good, we've got Russ Colliau. Russ, are you here this morning?
I am not quite in my normal space because I have been outside. We had a little maybe tornadic action come through here yesterday. And so I've been putting siding back on the house this morning in between calls and conversations. So it has been an interesting 12 hours since that wind came through.
Oh, man. Well, I know that it's always all hands on deck with you, Russ. So, hey, let's get started.
Because I love what Frank was saying about the things that we were learning when we were at Build, specifically about fanatical prospecting. And so today, again, is going to be interactive. I want to see your faces. I want to see your cameras on. That's what that means to those that have cameras off. Like, come on, Paul Rogers. You and I go back 20 years. Your camera should be on. Good to see you, my friend.
There's that money maker.
Yeah. So that being said, guys, how many by show of hands desire $1 million business? Get those hands up. Okay. Now I probably won't see all the hands, and yet how many have, instead of $1 million lead generation habits, you're actually running more like $1,000 lead generation habits, right? We're not doing the work like they were talking about on stage. It is grind season, baby. The market has shifted. Now, that being said, for all of you that are here with your cameras on, back to you, Paul, you guys stick around, and I promise you in 20 minutes, I am going to drop a lead generation bomb in this room that if you plug in will transform it's crazy how well this is working. And I'm making it available to this room. I told Tom I'd do it. And yet at the same time, for the next 20 minutes, I'm going to call you guys out by happy little face and name to find out, what are you doing for lead gen? And before I do, by show of hands, how many of you have a minimum of 4 pending right now? Yeah, I got like 3. So for the rest of you, you have nothing else to do all day other than lead gen. I had 25 listings in 90 days in a brand new city where I didn't know a soul as a brand new licensee, because all I did all day, every day was on the phones, making calls, having conversations, building relationships. And the challenge I hear from people is, who do I talk to? Where do I find leads? So this is our time to hear from you guys where you're finding leads. I always love another coach sitting next to me. So Laura, throw one idea on the ground. Where can these folks find leads?
My best source, and I think it's the low-hanging fruit, is going to your sphere.
Okay, sphere of influence, having that conversation with everybody who knows you, not everybody you know. It's a significantly larger pool. Following the DMD4 system, getting in a dance with those people where you're communicating on a regular basis, making sure you're talking a little about real estate to find out who they know. We're not asking them for their business. They'll raise their hand. Instead, we want to ask for, who do you know who wants to buy a home, sell a house, or invest in real estate that we should be helping? That's the shortened version. Okay. So sphere of influence, Megan, what do you got? Unmute yourself, Megan. There you go.
I actually don't do production. But if I were doing production, I would reach out to friends, family, my neighbors, people that I've gone to school with in the past, or teammates.
So I love that she talked sphere of influence and she brought in neighbors. How many of you have taken your neighborhood and said, this is mine, no other agent's going to be in here, and I'm going to build a relationship with all 600 of these homeowners? It's low-hanging fruit. You're right there. When you knock on your door and say, I'm your neighbor over on Levette Drive, they can't treat you like crap because they know they're going to see you all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an easy pool of people to connect with. All right, Brett, what do you got?
So we do a lot of content marketing. We have a lot of people from YouTube find us, and then we have our book that people find us, and our podcast. So a lot of our stuff is people are inbound, but also always calling too for strategic alliances. We try to do like a Dream 100 strategy where we're looking at the best. I also do a little bit different than just sell real estate, so it's a bit different.
That's okay. And what I love you're bringing to the table is inbound leads and outbound. What we're talking about right now for all of you is outbound, because you can always hunt. Yes, you hunt enough to get to your magic pending number, which is the number of pending you should have at any one time to reach your goal. And I can help you guys with that to figure that out. You act like a crazy mad fool on lead gen till you hit that number. Then you start shifting efforts to marketing. That's what Brett's talking about. Marketing to drive inbound calls. And all of a sudden you can flip. Each and every one of you are paid in direct proportion to the number of conversations you have, period. How many of you are having 20 conversations a day minimum about real estate? And no hand goes up. I see a couple now. That being said, if you talked to just 4 people an hour, 4 conversations an hour, that's it. That's a 5-hour workday to get 20 conversations done. So I'm looking at right now, you hunt, get that number up. Then we implement some strategies of marketing to bring more inbound traffic. And yet we might talk a little inbound in just one moment. Frank, what do you got? Something different. Let's go.
I'm doing a lot of the EDDM in my farm.
Okay.
It's a lot cheaper than the big boys. It's only about 19 cents through the post office, but I've gotten some good results.
So that is marketing.
Yes.
So again, marketing, I love, and yet all of you right now need to be prospecting focused, marketing enhanced. Once you get to your magic pending number, then you can be marketing focused, prospecting enhanced. And just so you know, ultimately, a business is marketing focused, prospecting enhanced. When was the last time Nike called and said, hey, Sarah, we got some new pinks. We know you're going to love them. Come on in and buy a pair. Right? That call never happens because they are marketing focused and yet they still have sales teams. They're still out there making stuff happen, including Miss
I don't know
Theory.
what that means.
Good. You don't need to.
If you like,
No,
I
go
can
away.
search the web for, hey Siri.
I don't know why she's bothering me. So Sarah, since Siri was bothering me, I'm coming to you something new. Where else can we find prospects? Where else can we lead gen?
Well, I'm brand new, but I come from the world of credit repair and we do.
Well, isn't this a
lot of
little bit of,
stuff.
hold that thought, Sarah. Come on, you piece of garbage. I've got Siri making it. I didn't hear you. Let's try again, Sarah.
Okay, so I'm brand new, but I come from the world of credit repair where we build a lot of leads through referral partner business. So I would assume teaming up with people in the mortgage industry, lenders.
By the way, calling lenders. Who else could you call? Title. Who
Title,
else could you call?
insurance.
Test operators. You might even try home inspectors. Every affiliate out there is a potential referral source for you. And in my dozen years in that market actually it was 15 years in that market, running the largest home inspection business in the country, or excuse me, in California. How often did agents call me for referrals? Yeah, I see Matt's head going back and forth. Never. Your referral partners are a great source. A lot of times they hear about listings long before you do. All right, so affiliates is another place. Kenny, where else should we be lead gen? Where else can we find people?
Let's go help notice of default people.
Okay, doing research on notice of defaults. Those are starting to raise, and that information's out there. And I would love if you guys were knocking on their door, letting them know you have a buyer that's looking in this neighborhood, because we all have buyers because there's not enough inventory, and asking if they'd ever considered selling. You don't go up and go, hey, I see you're 3 months late and you're about to lose your house. That's not the approach. Come from contribution. How can we help? A buyer is a great place to start and build a relationship with them, Kenny. That's the opener. And yet you keep reaching out, touching bases. How are things going? You never know what'll happen. That is a great pool. And here's the key with any of these pools, be it the defaults, and I know some others are going to come up. You've got to have them on a rotating conversation. I had an expired, so nobody can do expireds now. Expireds is another great one. I loved expireds. That's how I built my business. I had an expired that I reached out to who wasn't ready to sell, and I talked to him every 14 days or less for 18 months. And then he called and said, all right, I'm ready to sell my home, and I know if I don't list with you, you'll kill me. And it was a $700,000 listing, sold in 48 hours, done. Because I was willing to reach out and leave voicemails most of the time, every 14 days or less. So get all of these folks in your database and into a conversation model. Patrick, what's another way, another place that we can find people to talk to and lead gen?
Well, not counting the sphere of influence and swimming uphill with your referral partners.
Yep.
I also have been feeding old internet leads that are still active on my website into a dialer and reaching back out, people that were looking 18 months, 2 years ago, but are just looked at a property yesterday, and just feeding them through the dialer, calling a couple hundred, and I end up with a bunch of conversations, and I'm showing property to one of them this weekend. So
all those old leads that you guys wrote fat checks to realtor.com or to Zillow or to Deadfin or to whoever, and they dumped a bunch of garbage on you, even a bunch of garbage, you're going to find nuggets of gold in there. So by all means, yes, this is, again, staying in conversation, building relationships. Kim, what do you got?
I like to call my farm. I have a big farm for where I live. And I also go through the VA loans through Property Radar, and the divorce attorneys.
Okay, excellent sources. I love having farm attorneys. That was a huge one that you let in there.
Yeah.
Attorneys, guys, bankruptcy attorneys, if somebody goes to BK, all their investment property at a minimum has got to be liquidated. Who's going to help do that? Divorce attorneys. You can potentially pick up a 3-fer, 1 sale and 2 buyers. Helping those attorneys do their business. Come from that place. How can I help you? What research can I do for you? What information can I provide to you, Mr. Attorney? And start building that database of attorney referral partners. That would be amazing. Matthew, my dear friend, Matthew Stewart, what do you got, buddy? Other than a wonderful wife and Lexi, what else do you have?
Yeah, you caught me multitasking, my friend. I'm listening, but so I don't know.
I caught you doing what?
Multitasking. I'm reaching out to.
I'll help him out. Open house, Matthew.
Yes, thank
Open
you,
house.
for the save.
Yeah, well,
My
and we know from
sponsor
the one
saved me.
thing, multitasking is a lie.
Hmm,
All it is the opportunity to screw up multiple things at the same time.
you're right. You
Yeah.
are right.
So open houses are a great one. And as we have heard some people talk about, not just an open house. This is an open house party. It is an event. What is the purpose of an open house?
To book an appointment.
Okay, book an appointment for what? What are we truly desiring with open houses?
A listing appointment.
Bingo. It's about listings. Most agents have that. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to find a buyer for this house. Like 1% of houses sell through open house. And yet you do this right. You throw an open house party, you follow the 7 levels from the one thing, and then you take it up even a bigger notch. You have food, you have drink, you have music. You invite every neighbor in this farm that you're focusing on an open house party. You put it in the MLS, you put the listing in the MLS on Thursday with no showings available until the open house. Agents call Friday, hey, I've got a buyer. They want to see it. Nope. Saturday, 1 o'clock is the first time we can show it. If you can't be there, that's okay. Send your agent, I'll take care, or your client, I'll take care of them. You have feathers out front, those big, 12-foot feathers saying open house party. You have your lender on the grill, because I always did fresh fajitas. Somebody walks in and say, all right, we're having fresh fajitas for lunch. Do you want chicken, beef, or veggie? And they say chicken. And I say, Aurelius, chicken on the grill. How long is that person going to be sticking around? Yeah, till they get their food. And by the way, at 1 o'clock, because you've held this unavailable till 1 o'clock Saturday, you've invited all the neighbors. At 1 o'clock Saturday, what's the traffic look like outside your open house? It's massive. All of a sudden, the neighbors are seeing something radically different, because what does every other open house they've ever seen look like? An agent sitting on a couch like I am, in front of their computer like I am, hoping somebody shows up. Man, you bailed him out big time, Tom. Matt owes you one.
All right,
Jim,
all right,
yeah.
all right, all right, all right.
Yeah. What do you got, Jim?
Coach Russ, come on. No, I'm going to say door knocking. Did anybody say door knocking? I actually love door knocking and be belly button to belly button. I think it's great. And you do it at least 4 times a year in your farm of 500 to 1,000. And then you build relationship and rapport, and you let them know that you're starting a neighborhood newsletter, and you're going to be interviewing local businesses and so on that service that farm area. You do a video, once or twice or 3 a month or whatever with the businesses. You create a newsletter to where that restaurant, that dry cleaner, get 1 shirt dry clean for free, 2 for 1, or you get free appetizer, free dessert. And you tell people at the door, hey, I'm creating this newsletter. I'm going to be delivering value. I'm super committed to this neighborhood. You'll start seeing me around more and more. I'm not afraid of hard work. And the second go round, you're in front of them, they realize you're serious, and you can ask for their email, because you promote the newsletter, and there's going to be, value add and specific information in this neighborhood and so on. You can cancel at any time. And, you go through the third time, the fourth time, always asking about their email and the newsletter, and your goal is to build that email list. And now you got snail mail, now you got email, now you're doing open houses, whatever you can get in that farm area. If there's a vacant house that's listed by some other agent, you get your tail in there and hold that thing open, do the fajitas like Russ is saying. And then at least twice a year, do an event in the park, blood drive for the kids, whatever it is, and you start dominating that neighborhood.
I like the idea of blood drive for the kids where like bring 8-year-olds in, strap them down and make them donate.
Right. Yeah. I don't know what fingerprinting for the kids is what I meant. Do a blood drive.
Yeah, that's my kind of party. And yes, these are all keys, guys. These are all things you can do very cost effectively. Okay. It's not about spending a bunch of money. It's not about a bunch of marketing. And by the way, I didn't just have fajitas. I had the Jimmy Buffett margarita machine always running as well. And we definitely made it a party. So Jen, I asked you for something different. Let's hear something from you. You're still muted, my dear. Bottom left corner is the unmute if you're on your phone and a desktop.
Did you say Jim or Kim?
I said Jan. Now I'm going to go to Jeff.
Jan. Okay, Jan, it's your turn.
Jeff Sanchez, you got something for us. Come on.
You're on mute.
Everybody's good at mute, and I appreciate that. Eric Katz, let's get one more because then I want to talk into story time here.
One more what, Russ? Sorry.
One more place that we could be lead gen and one more place to find bodies because I want to leave here.
Community events. Also, town halls dealing with, neighborhood safety watch. That's where I'm getting involved in things.
Good. So
meet the neighbors.
getting involved in existing community events. That's huge.
Yes.
So, and they're going, and some of them are organic, some of them are scheduled. So I had an agent that we just had her at the dog park for an hour twice a day. Got to meet the same neighbors over and over and over. Here's the key with this, guys. There are people everywhere. You guys just need to get out there and have conversations starting today. For me personally, I sat in a bunker on my phone crushing calls. I still do to this day. I'm mainly focusing, and boy, Paul's missing out. Unfortunate for him, he dropped off. Focusing on recruiting. So I want to share with you guys a couple of stories around the importance of getting these people in a database and getting that dance going. So I am focused on building an organization. I'm focused on recruiting to my front line. I have been here less than 3 years, and I'm in the top 150 right now of FLAs and FLQAs. In fact, the top 130. I track that number every single month. So that being said, it comes all on time, on task, over time. I cannot tell you how many people that I've talked to 12, 18, 24 months, with most of those just being voicemails, and then they raise their hand. There was this young man here locally by the name of Jake. I was, in conversations with Jake. He was, talking about, well, I'm not sure if I'm going to stay in real estate. I might do some tech stuff. I'm involved in tech a little bit. Well, tell me about that. Well, I'm involved in this marketing company. Well, tell me more. What do you guys do in marketing? And he talked about how they actually do some marketing for real estate agents. And, that company was doing well, and yet they had some new visions. They were going to go a different direction. And we kept talking over about 18 months when he finally told me, we decided to start our own brokerage. I'm like, oh, okay. Though we still stayed in contact, and he introduced me to the CEO of the company and had some great conversations with them. And ultimately now, after the Build conference, they're bringing their little boutique brokerage over here in Huntsville, Alabama, which is awesome. More importantly, though, since April 1, I've been testing their lead generation, their tech. So imagine for a moment that a company would go into your Google AdWords account, your Facebook account, your Instagram, your whatever systems you use, and set up marketing and marketing funnels, multi-click, not just one click. I want to hear about real estate, people that actually have to put in some information over multiple steps. And they would set this all up for you, and they would make a recommendation to you of an ad spend that you get to spend directly, not them making a markup or a profit on it. They'll let you know what you spend to generate the leads. They'll get the leads and they'll start chasing them for you with their team. Technology, ISA, as well as you getting them and you chasing them. And me and the agents I put on that were getting conversion rates of 7 to 12.5% on these leads. In Huntsville, Alabama, not a strong market, I was spending about $500-600 a month on advertising. Beverly Hills, they'd probably spend $2,000. And yet it was 1 to 4 leads a day. And it was a 6 to 12.5% conversion rate. And so far, I have not given that company a penny in the model. They do it for a 24% referral fee on the back end. They know the quality of what they're doing. They're willing to have their skin in the game with you and be your partner in this. How many of you might be interested in getting some lead gen going that way, where you control the spend and there's a 24% referral fee and that's it? Raise your hand so I know. So I want all of you to meet my dear buddy, Sean Redinger. Sean's wife, Kara, has just come over to EXP. This young 29-year-old buck is the CEO of this company. And so I know he's going to put a link in the chat so you guys can get on his radar. I have spent the last 10 years as a coach telling people, do not spend money on leads. This is the first time I have found a platform that is absolutely crushing it for my agent partners. And I have talked them into making it available throughout our EXP model. Sean, what do you want to add, my friend?
Not a whole lot. You said plenty. I appreciate that, Russ. But yeah, guys, from a high level, we generate leads and set up your entire funnels on Google, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. And from end to end, we do all of the follow up. So half the battle with these internet leads is just getting them on the phone in the first place. And so that's exactly what we do. And in fact, if you don't have a marketing budget to start, which we don't have any minimums, we have a recommendation to hit 12 per year. And then from there, we kind of either work up or down from there. So if you're an agent who wants to add an additional 2 to 3 deals per month, we can actually reverse engineer how many leads need to come in, how many appointments need to come in, and what the cost of acquisition needs to be. So our main focus is not necessarily leads. I spoke to someone yesterday that they were bragging about 40-cent leads. I was like, that's awesome, man. I feel bad for you because that's a lot of cold calling. So we actually focus on cost of acquisition at the end of the day. And so we don't want to send you 100 people, and because we know you're not going to give all your time and energy and attention to all 100 people. So we turn 100 people into about 5 really interested people that need to speak with an agent ASAP. And they already know your name. They already know that you're going to call them. And you already know what their budget timeline, what their situation is, whether they're buyer, seller, et cetera. And so, like Russ was saying, we can actually put the power back into your hands so that you don't have to rely on a bank or a mortgage partner or any of your referral partners. So if you wanted to focus on new construction, wanted to focus on luxury, if you wanted to focus on sellers, if you wanted to focus on upgraders, downsizers, tired landlords, you can do that.
Awesome. Well,
So do me a favor.
Now. Yeah, go ahead and put in your contact info there, Sean. And then 2 more nuggets, Russ, and we got to roll.
Absolutely. So 2 more nuggets for you guys on lead gen. 1, lead generation will make you money. Lead follow-up will make you wealthy. So make sure that you are using some database to constantly follow up. These leads I've gotten from Sean, I have been horrible at follow-up. They've been awesome. My team members that I've been handing them out to have been awesome. We now have a half a dozen deals in process since April 1. So 2, it's a numbers game. You all have math of your business. You may not know what it is, and yet the math is there. X number of conversations equal a transaction for each and every one of you I'm looking at. So guys, please, it is grind season. It is the second half. How you play in the second half determines whether or not you win or lose the game. Put in the effort now. Spend the next 90 days heads down on the grind, having conversations till your voice is hoarse every day, and watch the magic happen. Love y'all. Tom, anything else for me?
Yeah. Hey, Russ, we're good. Thank you so much. He came in hot and he's going out hot. Thanks, Russ.
I'll put my contact in there as well for you guys. If there's anything I can do, always open to helping.
Awesome. Thanks, Russ. Hey, this Friday, we're bringing in Brendley Tucker. And speaking about lead generation, she's going to share how to master the emotions of prospecting, because we all have emotions and we need to push through those emotions to continue to have those conversations. So that's this Friday, Freedom Friday, 9 to 9:30 Pacific. Thanks, y'all. Have a good day. Got your inspiration, put into perspiration. Let me know if you need anything. See you later. Thanks. Have a good day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
Thanks, Russ.